1 month before Halloween, Robbie and Christopher won the lottery. They bought a big house in the country and they summoned Mark, the nitwit, to spend a few months at their place. Food, drink, whatever he wanted, he would have. He wanted Mark, the nitwit, to come and do a Halloween theme around the garden. Mark jumped on the plane the very next day. Christopher and Rob met him and took him back to their place. They went around the garden saying what sort of things that they was looking for. Mark the nitwit said, I can get put over in this bed, which is Polamion Delexus, a smaller plant along the edge of the boundary. I would put Snapdragon Polymachinognost. Chris and Rob looked at each other thinking, what the hell's all these names about? They was walking a little bit further around the ground. I know what I can put here. Spider's web Constantinople. And along the edge of the border I will put Snap Crackle Pigment Stephen Morcom. Robbie turned around and said, is these supposed to be some sort of native plants we're talking here? We never heard these plants. Don't worry about the plants. I can get. And they walked a little bit further and they came to another part. I will put in very, very tall bushes here. They are called fly-catching tiger moth. Nothing else will go here except for that. And we will need 6. They moved around and he said, we must have here yellow dragonfly tipster swamp. Swamp? Swamp. They moved to the last corner and he said, here I will put Snotabenius Scumbag Tremorous. Chris and Rob just looked at it and said, Mark Nitwit, you go ahead and do what you want as long as it looks nice for Halloween and we win the big prize. That's all what Chris and Rob was worried about, is winning the big prize. Even though they've just won the lottery, they wanted more money. They was rich, richer than they could possibly dreamed. But they wanted to become more richer. There was £200 for runners up. There was £600 and the top prize was £2 million, and they wanted the 2 million to go with the lottery money that they already won. Mark the nitwit turned around and said, what am I going to get out of this? What are you going to give me for doing this if you win Chris and Rob looked at one another. Rob turned around and said, well, we've already told you whatever you need, we will supply. Whatever food you like, we will supply. We will give you money to tie you over while you're here with us. We would even take you off for days. Mark the Nitwit said, why would I go off for days when you want me here to do your garden for Halloween? Chris turned around and said, we would take you to the places that you want to get these plants from. Mark the Nitwit, he just laughed. You can't get what I've just said here in England. No, I've got to send them away, which is going to cost a lot more money to bring them over here. Chris turned around and said, sure, write down your list. Tell me how much money you need, I'll give it, you go and pay for it. So Mark the Nitwit actually did. 2 weeks later, all the plants came. Mark the Nitwit then spent another week planting all these plants, exotic plants. Plants you would never ever seen or believe possible lived at all on this world, on this planet. They looked harmless, but they also looked evil looking. Mark and Chris was overjoyed by what Mark the Nitwit has put in their garden. They are going to win this for sure. Mark the Nitwit just rubbed his hands, waiting for Halloween, when all spooks comes alive. People begin to hear about Chris and Rob's garden, and they wanted to see it for themselves. People came. People clapped, cheered, and oh my God, oh my Lord. And the plants, they started to sway and move. Chris and Rob was in their kitchen making coffees, making teas, making squashes to take out to their guests. But every time when they go out with drinks, there was nobody there. Rob turned around and said, how fucking rude can people be? They come here, look at our beautiful, fantastic garden. We're slaving away in our fucking kitchen, giving them drinks. Even sometimes they say, can we have a sandwich? You bring it out and the fuckers is gone. Fucking people. They're turds, absolutely turds. But then the plants started swaying again, and the plants' faces were starting to move slowly, and they started to open up. Chris and Rob, they walked towards these plants to wanted to know what it is, what's making the plant move in such a way. Before Chris and Rob could actually stop, these plants just gobbled them all up, leaving the house and all with it to the piss-taking fourth bugger of the ball, Mark the Nitwit.